Hello and happy Monday. If you are joining me live for this practice, please take just a moment to say hi and let me know that you're here. And I put out a request, kind of a call out on Facebook today, asking people what their favorite yoga poses were, what they like, what they don't like. And I got a lot of interesting requests. So luckily, everything that I heard pretty much already lined up with stuff that I love to do. So it's not that big of a stretch. But today we're going to move a little bit of energy. I'm always trying to strike the balance between a gentle, restorative yoga practice and something that allows us to move some energy, because I think that's really important. So today I'm going to continue to do that. We're going to move some energy, but it's not going to be so challenging and so strenuous that it's going to be too difficult for really anybody that has some basic yoga experience, because I'm going to show lots of options and modifications that you can make. So if you have a pair of yoga blocks, you might want to go ahead and get a hold of them now. And I just want to encourage you throughout the practice to modify as needed, and take breaks as often as you want. Now, again, don't let this scare you, because this is in no way going to be a power yoga class, not even close. But for those of you who were wanting to maybe just stretch and barely move off of the mat, it might be a little bit more energetic than that. So yeah, let's just have an experience. That's always my goal with yoga. I'm less focused on perfecting the poses and getting the alignment locked in. I'm more concerned with just having an experience and moving some energy. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, come into a comfortable seated position. If it helps to sit on a block or sit on a pillow, then go ahead and do that. Sitting up nice and tall, relaxing your hips, relaxing your shoulders, closing your eyes, and begin the journey inward. So whatever has been going on up to this point in the day today, start to shift your awareness and your focus away from what's going on out there, and let's turn it inward. So closing your eyes, eliminating a good 95% of the external distractions simply by closing your eyes. Allow your breathing to deepen and lengthen and expand. It might take a couple of minutes for your breathing to really get deep and rich and full as you let the muscles involved with breathing warm up and loosen up. Settling into the breath and settling into this moment. Breathing in and out through your nose as you focus on the sensation of the breath moving in and out of your body. Feel your body softening and relaxing around that breath. Letting your thoughts begin to settle as space is created between them, between your thoughts. Good. On your next in-breath, lift your chin to the sky and open up your throat. And as you exhale, letting your chin drop to your chest, breathing into the back of your neck. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Again, inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhale, now bringing your left ear over your left shoulder. Exhale, letting your chin drop to your chest, and then inhaling over to the other side. Exhaling through center. Again, inhale over to the other side. And keep moving from side to side. Letting your neck warm up and loosen up. Good. One more time, each side. And then come back to center. And now let's roll out the shoulders, bringing some heat and energy into the shoulders by rolling your shoulders forward. And maybe the circles start out a little bit small, and as you keep going and things start to warm up and loosen up, maybe the circles get wider and more expressive, more expansive. Good, and now let's change the direction, so bringing the shoulders up and back and down. Up, back, and down. Moving and breathing. Good. And now let your shoulders drop and relax down your back. And on your next in-breath, let's arch the back, lifting your heart forward and up, and then exhale, rounding, getting the stretch into your back. Inhale, opening your heart, opening your chest. Exhaling, opening your back. Good. Coming back to a neutral spine. And just start to move your rib cage from side to side, loosening things up a little bit here. Just imagine you're sliding the rib cage from left to right. Good. Good, and let's go ahead and bring the left hand to the mat, drop the elbow and the shoulder down. Inhale, reach your right arm up and over, bringing a stretch into the side body. Moving with the breath here, letting your body undulate and move with the breath. If it's comfortable, you can drop your elbow down onto the mat, but only if you're able to keep both hips rooted and stable and grounded. Inhaling, let's come all the way up through center and over to the other side. Now pressing your rib cage to the left to get a deeper side opening stretch. And it's okay to kind of move around and explore here. And again, maybe you can come down onto your forearm, onto your elbow, but only if you're able to keep both of your hips rooted and stable. Good. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Let's roll out the shoulders once again. And on your next in-breath, get nice and long through the spine, and as you exhale, twist to your left. Breathing into this, exploring the twist. So I was asked for lots of spinal twists, which I happen to love anyway. So this is our first one. Ease into it. Good. Inhaling as you come back to center. Just take a moment. Let everything come back to neutral. And let's bring it to the other side. So inhale at center. And exhaling, twisting to your right. Breathing into this. On your next in-breath, coming back to center. And let's bring the legs out in front of us, feet together, outer edges of the feet coming together. And we're just going to gently flutter our butterfly wings here. Just gently flutter your knees up and down, bringing some heat and energy into the hips. Good. And then pressing your outer thighs toward the earth, so really opening up the feet here. Hinge forward with your heart leaning, kind of leading with your heart, right? And breathing into this here, nice, long, healthy spine. Now you should be feeling some energy down in your hips and in your lower back, some space opening up here. So we've just been working our way down the spine. Breathing. So leading with your heart, nice, long, healthy spine. You can avoid rounding here by keeping your heart lifting and expansive and open. Good. And then inhale, sitting nice and tall. Let's bring our legs out in front of us and just kind of shake things out a little bit here. Kind of waking up your legs, rocking back and forth, get rooted through both of your sits bones. So let's just rock the hips back and forth for a moment, get nice and rooted, connected through the lower body. Good. Inhale, let's reach the arms out and up, looking up, reaching up, engaging your core here. Just take a breath, take a moment here. Legs are active, flex the feet, pull back on the toes. Inhale, deep breath, and then as you exhale, hinge forward and come into a very passive forward bend. So your arms are relaxed, your back is rounded. Close your eyes and breathe into the back of your body. Good. Inhale, rolling up. Let's bring the arms out and up. Interlace the fingers, turn, press the palms up. Draw your arms back by your ears. Feeling a stretch in the shoulders, waking up your core here. Keep your heart lifting. Legs are active. Good. And then let's exhale, relax the arms Cross the legs. Let's fold forward or roll forward onto all fours, coming into table. And making sure the spine is really warm and loose. As you inhale, let the heart and the navel drop down. Lift both ends of the spine, getting a stretch in the front of your body. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, lift and round your back. Pull your navel in toward your spine. Inhaling up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale up. Exhale, round. Good. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then come back to a neutral spine. Come down onto your forearms. And then walk your hands forward. Tilting your pelvis forward, let your heart open toward the earth. So you can have a block underneath your forehead or no block. Or if you happen to be really flexible in the shoulders and really comfortable here and you already feel warmed up, you might even be able to bring your chin to the mat. But you should be feeling a nice shoulder opener here. So close your eyes and breathe into it. Good. Inhaling, shifting forward. Walk the hands back in. Come back into table. And just notice how you're feeling. Probably feeling really open in the shoulders now. So let's walk the hands forward. Curl the toes under and come into a bent-kneed downward facing dog. So keep your knees bent. Spread your fingers. Press your hands down and forward and stretch the hips back and up. So for now, just focus on getting the stretch from your hands to your hips. And then pull the shoulders gently down away from your ears and let there be space between your shoulders and your ears. You can shake your head no and nod your head yes. And then just let your head hang like a melon, creating this wonderful traction in your neck. Just let the weight of your head create a stretch in your neck. And then as you breathe, press into your right heel, feeling the stretch all the way down into your lower leg. And then pressing into your left heel. And into your right heel. And into your left heel. Inhale, lift both heels high, bend both knees, and again, focus on stretching from your hands to your hips. Shoulders away from your ears so you can gently pull them toward your waist. And then exhale, press into your heels. Good. Inhale, shifting forward into a high plank. Pressing the ground away from you, lift up out of your shoulders, engaging your core here. Now, anytime you need to, in a plank, you can always lower your knees. So that's a modification that you can use to make this work for you. And if you're in plank and you want to have a little bit more of a challenge, you can bring your right knee to your right elbow, slide it down to your wrist and back up, and then extend your right foot back and other side. So left knee, left elbow, sliding down to the wrist and back up. Extend your left leg to your right elbow, all the way down to your wrist, and left side. And see if you can do this 3 times on each side. So one more time. Good. And back into your high plank. Let's press the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Let's come into child's pose for a moment. Feet together, knees wide, because I want us to introduce child's pose into the practice really early so that you feel comfortable taking as many breaks here as you need to throughout the practice. So you can have your knees as wide apart as you need to, or you can have your knees together and elbows out wide. You can let your forehead rest on your hands or on a block or 2 blocks. Make it work for you. Let's take a few breaths here. Get your hips as close to your heels as you possibly can. And let's breathe. Good. Let's come back into table and then downward facing dog. Take a moment, take a breath here. Just kind of feel out your down dog. Move around inside of it. Good. And now start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Come to a standing forward bend at the back edge of your mat. So bend your knees as much as you need to here, and so that you can bring your hands to the mat. You can also use blocks. So this is another one of those times when blocks can come in handy. So just feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. This is an active stretch for the hamstrings now. You can bend one knee to isolate the stretch in the other leg, and then move that stretch from side to side as you breathe. So you can make slow movements or more active movements if you want a more energetic practice. But let the breath be steady and consistent all the way through. Good. And then coming to a full stretch here, both legs, doing your best. Now engaging your core, you're just going to sweep your left foot over to the left. See if you can get it. Just see how high you can get it. Breathing deeply here, roll the foot around. Good. Slowly lower. Shifting onto your left foot, sweep your right leg over. See how high you can get that. Maybe you can get it as high as your hip. Roll the foot around. Slowly lower. Good. Let's walk the hands forward. Come back into downward facing dog. Breathing. Remembering you can take a break in child's pose at any time. Otherwise, let's bring the feet together here. Inhale, shifting forward. And we're going to lower the heels to the right. Press the hips forward and up. Reach that left arm up. Now the other option here, as always, is to lower that bottom knee. So you can make this practice work for you. You can always modify any practice to make it work for you. So just find out what your body is asking for today. Do some deep listening, check in. Maybe you want to be challenged a little bit today. Maybe you want to move some energy. And maybe you want to back off and take it easy. Maybe it's more about self-care. Whatever you're doing, breathe into it. Good. Let's come back to center. Feet together. Bring it over to the other side. And breathe. Good. Let's come back to center. Come back into your high plank. And then press the hips back and up, down dog. Now let's lower onto the knees. Feet together, knees wide. Let's come back into child's pose. Take several deep breaths here. Letting your heart soften and open here. So yoga is about so much more than a physical practice, right? Give your heart an opportunity to soften here. We are bombarded with kind of scary, conflicting messages all day long that we tend to take in, and it just starts to weigh down the heart. So as you breathe here in child's pose, give yourself permission to surrender to Mother Earth anything you no longer want to be carrying around, any fears, any anxieties, anything you're ready to just give to her and lighten your load. So let's take a few moments to do that here. Good. Let's come back into table and then downward facing dog. And just kind of feel it out. Move around inside of it, breathing deeply here. And then stepping your left foot closer to your right foot. Extend your right leg back and up, pressing into both of your heels here. Just keep pressing that right leg higher and higher. And then externally rotate your right leg and stack the right hip over your left hip, bending that right knee. So just let that right foot dangle over that left hip as if you were trying to reach your right foot for your left hand. I know it's kind of like Simon Says here, trying to figure out what body parts are supposed to go where, but just breathing into this three-legged dog here, doing your best to stack the right hip over your left hip, pressing into that right foot. Good. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Shift forward so your shoulders line up right over your wrists. Inhale, let's extend that leg up and back once again. Exhale, shifting forward, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back. Exhaling forward, hover here, look straight down between your hands, and then step your foot forward with as much grace as you can, and take a moment, get that foot all the way forward so your foot is flat and your knee is over your ankle. Good. So for now, just enjoy the stretch and the opening that this is helping to create in your hips. Pressing actively into that back thigh, you always have the option of lowering that back knee. But if you have your thigh lifted, then be committed to that. Try not to hang out in between. So the knee is either lowered or it's lifted, but make your decision and kind of stick to it, right? Be committed to it. Left hand on the mat now. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Looking up, breathing deeply. You can wrap this arm around your back if you want, maybe placing your hand on your sacrum, maybe hooking it onto that left hip. Just do your best here, exploring. Inhale, reach that right arm up. Exhale, lower, both hands are back on the mat. Now, if you have that back knee lowered, this is a good time to go ahead and lift it. And then we're going to turn and plant the back foot. And then bring your hands to your hips and take a moment and get stable through the feet. You want all four corners of both feet firmly planted. And then bring your hands to your hips. Now we're going to draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. So your hips and your shoulders are facing forward. Shoulders are stacked over your hips. No reason to be leaning forward or arching too far back. Just let your shoulders stack over your hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, shoulders down, away from your ears. And then you can bend your right knee toward 90 degrees, keeping that back foot nice and firmly planted. So breathing here, exploring your warrior one. Turning your right palm to face up toward the sky. Bring your left arm forward, palm facing forward, as if you're saying stop to somebody, right? So bring the left hip and shoulder forward, right hip and shoulder back. Breathe deeply here. Good. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale, both hands to the mat. Lift that back heel. Both hands firmly planted. Right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to feel the difference between the two sides of your body. Good. And then let's come into child's pose again. Come back to center. This is a good opportunity to rest and recover and integrate everything that's happened so far. So instead of in life, we tend to just go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next without really stopping long enough to check in with ourselves. Child's pose is a good opportunity for us to do that in our yoga practice. Anytime you need to stop, rest, recover, integrate what's happened so far, and reconnect with the breath, child's pose is perfect for that. So let's take some time now to do exactly that. Rest, recover, integrate, and breathe. Not to mention the wonderful heart opening benefits we've already talked about. So give yourself permission again to release to Mother Earth anything you no longer need to be carrying around in your heart. Good. Let's come back into table and then back into downward facing dog. And take a moment, breathe, move around inside of it. And now bring your right foot closer to your left foot and extend your left leg back and up, pressing into both heels, lifting that left leg higher and higher. And now externally rotate your left leg to stack the left hip over the right hip. Bend the knee and press into that left foot. Breathing here. Inhale, deep breath. And as you exhale, bring your knee to your nose and shift forward so your shoulders stack over your wrists. Pull your navel in toward your spine. Good. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, rounding forward. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, rounding forward. Hover here, look straight down between your hands and step your foot forward. And take a moment and make sure you get good and comfortable here. You want this left foot firmly planted with your knee right over your ankle. Back knee is either lowered or actively lifted, right? Pick one, breathe into it. Feel the energy moving up into your hips. Feel the opening that you're creating here. And with your right hand on the mat, inhale, let's reach that left arm up. Good. You have the option of wrapping this left arm behind your back, maybe placing your hand on your sacrum, maybe hooking it around onto your right hip. Just whatever works here, exploring the twist, opening your heart to the sky, breathing deeply, and make sure you're not sinking into that right shoulder. So lift up out of that right shoulder. And as always, breathe deeply. When you're ready, slowly unwind, reaching that left arm up. Exhale, both hands to the mat. Good. Take a moment, take a deep breath here. And now, if you have that back knee on the mat, go ahead and lift it. And we're going to turn and plant the back foot, bringing our hands to our hips. So the back foot is firmly planted. So if this is 12 o'clock on the dial, your back foot should be at about 2 o'clock on the dial. So you're just going to have that right foot turned out just a little bit, which is going to help make it easier to bring the right hip and the right shoulder forward. So let your hips and your shoulders face over that front edge of your mat. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, shoulders down. You can bend that left knee toward 90 degrees. So if you're feeling strong today, maybe your thigh is parallel to the ground. Keep that right foot firmly planted. Breathe. You can bring your right arm forward, pressing into the palm of your hand. Left arm presses toward the sky, bringing the right hip and shoulder forward, left hip and shoulder back, just enough to make sure they're squared facing forward. Breathe here. Good. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, when you're ready, lower both hands to the mat. Lift your back heel. And when you're ready, left foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Good. And now let's go ahead and lower onto the knees, feet together, knees wide. And again, child's pose. Take some time here to reconnect with the breath and integrate everything that's happened for you so far in this practice. This is an opportunity to just check in and cultivate some awareness. So breathe deeply here. Good. So let's come back into tabletop position. And then we're going to walk the hands forward and shift the hips forward so that the shoulders line up with the wrists, and bring your hips down into alignment so there's a straight line between your shoulders and your knees. And already you should be feeling this in your core, right? This should be waking up your core. Now you have the option of staying right here and just working with this, or if you want a little something more, just lift your knees and breathe here. Good, and lower. And let's press the hips back, stretching out the lower back here. Good. And let's come forward and down, all the way down onto the belly. Rocking back and forth. Get grounded through the hips. Relax onto the tops of your feet. Let's come onto the forearms into Sphinx. So starting here with our back bends this evening, pressing your forearms down and gently pulling them in toward your body. Think about those lower ribs kind of pressing forward and up, and your shoulders sliding down away from your ears. So feel the stretch in your lower belly, breathing deeply here. Just keep bringing those lower ribs forward and up. Shoulders, try not to hunch them up by your ears. Keep lifting up out of your shoulders, breathing deeply here. You can look forward, you can look up, as long as you're not just throwing your head back. Good, and let's slowly release here. Elbows out wide. Rest on your right cheek. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Feel a release in your neck. And feel some space being created in your lower back. Good. Coming back to center, bring your arms down by your sides. Maybe your palms are facing down. Lifting, using the muscles in your back, lifting all the way to the lowest ribs. Lift your arms, lift your legs. Everything is lifting here. Locust, breathing deeply. Again, think about bringing those lower ribs forward and up, using the muscles in your back and the muscles in your core. And release, resting on your left cheek this time. Good. Good. And coming back into Sphinx. If this is where you're comfortable, if this is your sweet spot, then you're welcome to stay here. If you want, you can lift your elbows, maybe walk your hands in, and think about getting more length through the front body. So use the muscles in the back of your body, in the back, to help you get more length in the front. Again, keep the shoulders, keep lifting up out of the shoulders, let those lower ribs, think of the muscles in the back, lower part of your rib cage, kind of moving forward and up, engaging those muscles, breathing deeply here. And if it's comfortable, you could walk the hands in more. Just keep exploring your edge. Check in with your shoulders, make sure they're not hunched up by your ears. Breathing. And you can even be back in Sphinx pose. Maybe that's your sweet spot, like I said. So honor your body with your practice. Good. Inhale, take another deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. And then we're going to push up into table and come back into child's pose. And you can have your knees as wide apart as you need, or you can bring them together. Just make sure that your hips are as close to your heels as possible and that there's no awkward bend in your neck here. So take a few moments, find the most comfortable position for yourself here. We're going to take 4 full breaths in and out. Let's take one more breath. Good. And let's come back into table. And I had a request for pigeon, so we're going to do pigeon pose. So in order to come into pigeon, you're going to bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Then your left foot can move to the left as far as you are comfortable with. And then you're going to slide that left leg back. Now, if there's any discomfort in the knee or in the hip, then just keep that right foot right underneath your right hip. That's totally fine. But again, just like in Warrior One, the hips and the shoulders are squared, facing forward. So breathing into this. And maybe it takes a minute to kind of wiggle around and find your way into it. And you can curl the toes of that left foot under, lift the knee, press actively into that back heel, and then lower and relax that leg. Walk the hands in, lift your heart, shoulders, sliding back and down. And breathing here. So this is a back bend too. So see if you can tap into that. Again, think of these muscles back here and at the lower part of the rib cage. Engaging those muscles, bringing them forward and up. Think about the muscles in your back helping make it possible to get more length in the front body. So breathing, exploring what that means. Close your eyes, feel it in your body. Good. And then exhale, lengthen forward. Elbows out wide, one hand on top of the other, or you can always use a block here. There's 3 heights to the block. So if you're working with a block, find the height that works for you. And if you don't have a block, you can place one fist on top of the other to give you a little bit of lift here. So find what works for you. Close your eyes and breathe into this. Inhale, walk the hands back in. Slide that left knee forward, bring that right leg back, come back into table, take a moment and acknowledge the difference between your 2 sides. And now we're going to bring the left knee forward behind that left wrist and right foot. Just find the right place for your right foot. It might be right behind your left hip. It might be closer to that right edge of the mat. Square the hips, start to explore. So refine it. You can kind of feel yourself sinking into it more and more. And exploring the back bend. Breathing. Good, and then when you're ready, lengthen forward. Good. Inhale. Let's walk the hands back in. Slide that right leg forward, left leg back. Let's come back into child's pose. Take a few breaths here. Now let's walk the hands in and sit tall. Sit back on your heels. And let's curl the toes under, coming onto the balls of our feet. I'm always amazed at how fast this hour goes by. But I want to make sure that we get a balancing pose in here. And I had a request for tree pose, so that's what we're going to do. So let's just take a moment establishing some balance with a very low center of gravity. Bringing your hands together in prayer, breathing. Good. And then bring your palms forward, facing up. And on your next in-breath, slowly lift all the way up, lower your heels, and stand tall. And let's take a moment to get nice and stable and grounded as you prepare for balancing. So feet are hip width apart and parallel. Spread out the toes. Root down through the 4 corners of your feet, making nice contact with the ground beneath you. Nice solid foundation. Maybe you rock forward and back and side to side. Just find that place where your weight is evenly distributed. And then you can bring your hands together in prayer. Root down through your legs, sending your roots out through the soles of your feet deep into the earth. And at the same time, rise up through the midline of your body, letting your upper body open to the light above, just like a tree. And when you're ready, finding a still point, find something that's not moving, and focus your mind, focus your gaze, and shift onto your right leg. Draw your left knee out to the side. And you can have your foot resting on the floor with your heel against your ankle, or you can place your foot anywhere above or below the knee. Just check in with how strong and balanced you're feeling today. Part of your strength here is going to be pressing your legs toward each other, so that left foot presses in towards your right inner thigh. Your right inner thigh is pressing back into the foot, and there's this length, this strength coming up through the midline of your body. Breathing, focusing, and keeping a smile on your face. Keep a sense of balance about it all, so you don't take this too seriously. Good. You can reach the arms up and out, maybe bringing your hands into a mudra, if there's a mudra that you like. Breathing, smiling. Good. When you're ready, slowly lower the arms, lower your leg, come back to center and shake it out. Just kind of shake out your legs, feeling the difference between the two sides of your body, and then slowly transition to the other side. Draw your right knee out, and again, place your foot anywhere above or below the knee, and let your legs be active. Heart is open. Lift up through the midline of your body. So there's a sense of buoyancy about you. Even as you're rooted and stable and grounded through the lower body, roots going deep into the earth, there's this sense of lightness and buoyancy. Feel yourself like a tree reaching for the light. Breathing, smiling, keeping things in perspective. And you can bring your arms up and out. And again, maybe there's a mudra that you like. It's okay if you lose your balance. It's going to happen sometimes. Just slowly find your way back in. Good. One more deep breath. Exhale, slowly lower the arms, lower your leg. Woo, shake it out. Good. So let's take a moment, close your eyes, standing tall in Tadasana, simply noticing how you feel. And let us slowly come down onto the mat now. And we're going to hug the knees in close. Stretching out the lower back, gently rocking from side to side, massaging out the spine. I sometimes debate whether or not these 1 hour live classes should be more like 75 minutes to really give me enough time for a full practice and also a really good, deep, guided meditation during Shavasana. But for now, we'll work with 60 minutes and make the most of that time together. So let's go ahead and come into a happy baby pose. So bring the knees as wide as the shoulders, and then the soles of your feet face up toward the sky. And you can either grab a hold of your ankles or your big toes with your peace fingers, or you could actually grab the outer edge of the feet, whatever works for you here. And very gently draw the legs down toward the ground and let your sacrum kind of flatten onto the mat. Feel the stretch in the lower back, Breathing deeply here. And then you have the option of extending your right leg out to the side, feeling the stretch in your inner thigh. And then you can extend your left leg out to the side. And then you have the option of extending both legs out to the side. And again, pressing the sacrum down onto the mat, feeling the stretch in the inner thighs, wherever you're feeling it, just notice where you feel it. Breathe into it. Keep the shoulders relaxed here. Nice, long, healthy spine, making contact with the ground. Good. And on your next in-breath, slowly draw the legs together. It's okay if the knees are bent. And then slowly draw the knees in close. As you exhale, bring your nose toward your knees. And then relax your head, neck, and shoulders. And then from here, go ahead and straighten and relax your right leg. Straighten and relax your left leg. Relax your arms out by your sides, palms facing up. Go ahead and shimmy your shoulders down away from your ears and make whatever little adjustments you need to make to get completely comfortable. And then looking up at the ceiling, up toward the sky. Just let your eyelids slowly close as you go deeper into relaxation. Let your breathing be relaxed. Let your body be relaxed. Surrendering into Shavasana now. Giving yourself permission to let go. Just for a few moments, give yourself permission to let go, to soften onto the surface beneath you. Let the muscles in your legs and in your hips relax and soften now. Let the muscles along your spine soften and relax now. Relaxing your shoulders and your arms, your neck, your jaw, all the muscles in your face. Feel yourself letting go. Feel yourself letting go. Surrendering to Mother Earth. Feel her invitation to soften into her. Surrendering to her anything you no longer need to be carrying around. Drop any burden. Surrendering it to her to be transmuted, composted. And as you feel yourself softening into Mother Earth more and more, feel your front body opening to the sky above. Heart open. Feel your heart softening, softening, softening more and more as your shoulders drop, surrendering and letting go. letting your head rest back against the earth, cradled by Mother Earth. Releasing the muscles in your jaw, your eyes. And letting your mind be wide open, like a blue sky. Letting any thoughts that come up simply float by, like clouds in that sky. Until more and more, all you see is this expansive, wide open blue sky. Your heart, soft and strong, all at the same time. Nourished from the earth below, the sky above. And allowing your tank to be filled by this practice, by this Shavasana, by this moment right here, right now. When you're ready, begin to breathe deeply again. Breathing deep, energizing breaths back into your body. Breathing into your arms and into your legs as you become aware of your body again. Wiggling fingers, wiggling toes from side to side. And on your next big in-breath, lift your arms above your head into a full body stretch, stretching from your fingers all the way down into your toes. And on your next out-breath, hug your knees in toward your chest, giving yourself a big, loving hug. And then roll over onto your side and rest in a very comfortable fetal position. And take a moment to be aware of how you feel. And when you're ready, slowly push yourself back up to a seated position and bring your hands together in prayer. And let us seal today's practice with intention, with gratitude. Perhaps setting an intention, setting the tone for the rest of your week. Think about what it is you would like to cultivate this week. Who do you want to be this week in your life? Taking a moment now to bow to and acknowledge the creative spark that exists within us all, even when we forget. In salute, let us say, Namaste. So thank you for joining me tonight, whether you're doing this live or if you tend to check out these practices later. do me a favor and give me some feedback. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you'd like to see more of. Let me know what's challenging for you. What do you want some guidance and help with? So definitely give me some feedback and let me know how you feel as a result of this practice. These yoga sessions I'm doing because it feels really good for me to be in service and to be giving right now. And I'm offering this as a way of just giving love to the community. If you would like to know more, if you want to go deeper, if you want to support me in my work in some way, the best way to do that, the best win-win for both of us is for you to pick up my book, Showing Up Naked. You can find that at ericaboucher.com or showingupnaked.com. They both ultimately go to the same place. If you already have the book and you know somebody else who might benefit from it, that's an option as well. It's available in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. So again, these are live sessions. I will be here again tomorrow. So Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. Because these sessions are live, I never know exactly what's going to happen. There was definitely some sort of commotion and background noise going on, and I have no idea what that was. So I'm going to go investigate. But yeah, thanks for showing up and being a part of it with me. And until next time, namaste.